Welcome, everyone. My name is James Salomons, and I'm a zero balancing practitioner based in Edinburgh, Scotland. In this video, we're going to meet a lady called Karima. Now, she first came to me for zero balancing because of pain in her hip. And to give a little context, this interview was recorded 2 years ago in November 2020. There's a slight glitch in the recording of the video where when the camera cuts to me, the video and the audio are slightly out of sync. I have no idea why this happened, and hopefully all future interviews won't have this problem. Please like the video and subscribe if you enjoy the content and would like to see more. Now, without any further ado, let's dive in.
My name's Karima. I'm a 47-year-old, and I first came to see you because I think it was in August 2019, because my hip was really bothering me, and previous to contacting you, I hadn't been able to walk properly. And I felt that zero balancing would help me, because it felt like, what I read about it felt like it was going to be gentle and didn't feel invasive. I didn't have to take my clothes off. I didn't have to, I'm not too keen of going to massages and all that stuff. It's not my, I can keep my clothes on. It felt like something I could go on a regular basis. I contacted you and just went from there. I just thought I'd just try it. It sounded, to me, sounded like the right thing to give a try. And from the first session, I was just, it made me realize that actually the outer pain of the hip and what happened to my hip and stuff was just the iceberg. There was a lot more underneath that. I came for the hip, and I realized actually I was extremely stressed. I was extremely tired, and every time I came for a session with you, I think a couple of times I fell asleep while you were doing the session, and it really gave me a lot of me time. I felt like a treat. I would get excited to come to the session because I'd know that it was just about me, and I felt very safe. Yeah, that was very important. I felt very safe in the session. Nice. And that's how I started coming to see you.
Yeah. That safety is one of the, if you will, kind of the hallmarks of zero balancing and what we train in, really.
Yeah. And I felt that from the first session, because if I didn't feel very safe or trust, I wouldn't have turned back up again. I don't think I would have come.
Yeah, and now that you've had zero balancing a fair bit, one of the difficulties I feel as a zero balancer is trying to explain it to other people. And also, as a person who receives zero balancing myself from my teachers and my colleagues, I just wondered how you would describe it. What would you say if somebody said, "Oh, zero balancing, I've heard of that. What's it like?"
Oh, there's so many things in it about it. For me, it's very gentle. It's a very gentle therapy. Also, I already said that you feel very safe and very like in a cocoon for that amount of time. That you will feel it's like there is no more needs. Nobody's asking you anything. Nobody's wanting you to do anything. For once, for an hour, I will just be me, and nothing or no one in the world is asking anything of me, which makes it really easy to relax, to be able to let go and relax. Also, I felt like zero balancing gives me the opportunity gives me space for some reason. I always feel like every time I come, I get a bit more space within my being, within myself. I get more space and extremely relaxed, to the point where I always go for a nap. I'm super relaxed. Yes. Yes. And I found also that what I thought I came for zero balancing actually is not the actual real issue. That it's almost like it's the top layer, and it just keeps going, removing layers after layers after layers of things that I was not even aware of. For me, that's what zero balancing has been and still is doing to me.
Yeah. And you mentioned layers and layers. Can you talk a bit more about that process?
Yeah, well, it's quite unexpected. Each session is different. I come to you and I go, actually, I've got nothing to say today, and I don't think that's, what you want. Well, I just want a bit more peace. I want to, and then there was always imagery would come up, sensations would happen that would kind of put a spotlight on what has been hidden or what has been stored within me and which needs releasing, which is being released with the zero balancing. So it's very hard to explain actually all the differences, all the different things that has happened to me through zero balancing. Each session, I always think, surely there can't be any more. Surely there can't be any more stuff. And there's always something that I'm thinking, oh my God, I never even thought of that. Or it helps me see my life differently as well. And how I deal with people has made a huge impact. And how I deal with myself, that has changed a lot through zero balancing. It's given me like a kind of more clarity about what I am and how I want people to interact with me. Whereas before it was very unconscious and it was like almost like, because there was no clarity about all the traumas that I've gone through, and I've become playing a role of a certain way of how I've been expected to behave. So therefore my relationships, I've been reflecting that too. Because if I'm playing a role where everybody else is gonna kind of play the opposite role, that matches my way of being. So it has made a lot of change within myself, which has helped change my relationships. So it has given me the oof to stand up to those relationships, which I'll let people just take over me all the time. I'm stronger, not in a kind of bully way, but I'm stronger in I know how to be kind, but not be taken advantage of in any way, emotionally or mentally anymore, which is great feeling.
Yeah, it's been really amazing to see, you renegotiate those relationships, especially. Sorry, the sirens in the background there. Especially because in the sessions, unexpected childhood material would come to the surface, and it's as if by processing all that, you kind of change your relationship with your past, your sense of self, and as an extension of that,
Totally.
the people that you're in relationship with.
These traumas had made me play a role that was not me, but to protect myself and to not feel hurt. I've started building on this character, this person that was created through the trauma. And all these have made my relationships, being unaware of how it worked. But coming to zero balancing for, as I said, primarily I came for physical help. Actually, it came out that it was more underneath stuff, emotional stuff, mental stuff, trauma, as you say. And that helped me break down this false protective person that dealt a certain way with other people because of the trauma. But now I feel much more free, spacious. That's what I kept saying. Whenever I come there, I feel more space every time within me, less constriction, less tightness. It's a different lighter, just feel lighter. And it changes my world for some reason. It changes how relationships with people is going on. It's just very odd, very way. I had last 2 days I had a very big kind of spiritual. It's another side of zero balancing for me. It has always been quite spiritual, but this past 2 days I've had this realization that, oh my God, the people that I'm with, I create my relationships, are somehow a reflection of my inner feelings and emotions and all of this. And when I change these inside me, somehow the relationship seems to change and becomes easier, and just something that was hard and difficult has become much easier, much more enjoyable. It's just like it's like magic almost, you know. So that was massive for me. I kept going all day. Yes, I kept going, oh wow, I can't believe it. Wow, I can't believe this. Because it kept being in my face that the way how I'm changing inside, which is my true self, somehow impacts my relationship with the other person. So zero balancing gave me a lot of self power. I took some power back for myself.
Sure.
It gives me more, I have more self-confidence in myself, and somehow it changes my relationship with people, with the world, with good things seems to happen out of the blue. It's just odd, very odd thing that I didn't expect from zero balancing. Me coming back to, I feel more balanced, seems to make my world, my personal world, more balanced. Do I sound mad? Do I sound a bit mad?
Not at all. That's my experience as well. And it's like, well,
Okay, all right,
how do you
fine.
communicate that? You know,
It's
and that's
very hard to get through. I mean, since it's happened, I haven't spoken to anybody about it because it's very hard to explain. I can't explain it. And somebody will come to me before and told me, oh, you're mental. It's crazy. But it is the truth. It's true. Yeah.
well, that's that's a really important insight to have, is that
Massive.
the one thing we can control ourselves is
Yes.
the one who can change stuff around us as well as ourselves.
Ourselves.
But this is where the work is, this is where the work lies.
Yeah. No point exhausting yourself trying to change something out there when you unconsciously churning all that stuff. It's not going to do anything. It might probably makes it worse. But if you realize that actually, that's what I'm trying to say with self-power, I know that it lies with me. If something's not going right, it's like a mirror telling me, okay, have a look inside, because there's something you need to look at and let go, maybe. And that was just, oh wow, I don't feel like, it feels more like it gives me more, I'm responsible for what's going on in my life. I'm not at the mercy of my son or my partner or my job, or I'm responsible for my world, my little world. I'm the one responsible for it. I choose how to react to things. whereas before I was just triggered constantly. It's not as much now. Yeah.
So, before you came for zero balancing, would you have considered yourself somebody who was traumatized?
Do you know what? I know that what I went through was when I would tell some of my friends, very rarely, but the chosen friends after did go, oh my God, this is mental, And to me, I brushed it off always. I know, but it's fine. I'm fine, I'm totally fine. It's never affected me. So no, there was a part of me that always decided that you've ruined my childhood. You're not going to ruin any more of my life. Now that I'm gone. So I will just go, no, it's affected me in the past, but it's not affecting me. I refuse it to affect me now. But obviously, the conscious mind and the subconscious, it's just two different things. So underneath, it's still there, but my conscious self going, no, not having it, everything's fine. So no, I would have said, no, I'm not traumatized. Yes, it was shit. Yes, it was terrible. It was dark, but no, I'm all right. Which obviously is not true, but I suppose when something is so dark and painful, you just kind of cover over it. Well, that's what I did, didn't I? Yeah, I covered it with loads of stuff. Yeah, so no, I wouldn't have thought or ever said I am traumatized. No, never. But now it seems so obvious that yes, of course. How could you not be? How could anyone not be? Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely a survival thing, isn't it? To bury something, or to even tell yourself that it doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
Because you've got everyday stuff to be getting on with. You've got, well, you presumably had children to rear and jobs to do, and.
But I honestly felt like it didn't affect me. That's a weird thing that, as you say, for your own survival, it's amazing what you can do in denying very, very traumatic stuff. I just really thought, I'm not angry with my mom. I'm not upset with my parents. They did the best they could, with the circumstances they had, as I kept telling myself. And I'm okay. I really believed it.
Who would you recommend zero balancing for, given your own personal experience with it?
And first of all, I would probably say whoever goes will probably go for something that has no relation probably to what's really needed. You might go for your ankle pain or whatever, but it will dig something else. It will dig something deeper. We've all been through something somewhere. So, but definitely if you're stressed, and in this day and age with what's going on and uncertainty about jobs, pandemic, worrying about loved ones, anybody who's stressed, please go, because it is one of the most relaxing hour I've ever had. I've done shiatsu before a long time ago. Aromatherapy is never actually done as much relaxing as when I go and see you. And anybody that feels overwhelmed by what's going on, and anybody who feels like needs a bit of support without any. You see, when I come and see you, I know I'm going to get the support that I need, but without anybody wanting something from me, or I don't know how to explain it to me. It's a very unconditional therapy, I feel, when I go there. I could ask help from my daughter or something, but I always feel like, it's something that is put on them, or it's something that I have to repair later or whatever. I always feel my calm is just me, for me, and nothing is wanted of me. You know, I just have to lie down on that couch and just let it be. So yeah, anybody who needs peace, more space, more time for themselves, go for it. And you'd be surprised what will come out of it, actually. I'm surprised. I'm always surprised. And as I said, the person that I was when I first came in June after the lockdown, I can't even recognize that person. Really don't. I was really low. I was powerless. I was powerless. That's the best I could say. I felt utterly powerless in every area of my life. And now I'm a completely different person. Yeah. I'm not even exaggerating or anything. I feel a different person. I'm sure you can see the difference between when I first came to you in June and how I am now.
Yeah.
I'm much more positive in my outlook. I'm just much happier, less worried. I have less ups and downs. I used to have massive ups and downs. I'm much more level, which, you know, is great. I think it's great for me anyway. You know? Yeah, and it's spilling out into my life. It's spilling out into, as I said, my relationships are better. My house, I've done lots of changes to my house. You know, it's not just personal here. It just extends into your world, which is, I've never found that in any other therapies that I've tried, which I find quite, I just find it amazing. I don't understand it, all of it, but I find it amazing that it actually spreads out.
Thank you for that. That's you know, with stress, with overwhelm, having that time to check in with yourself and see how you really feel, and in a way, there's an honesty in zero balancing. You know, your body doesn't lie to you. It's not going to say, "Oh, cheer up. I know it's a bit crap now," but no, it's actually going to say, "Yes, yes, you feel terrible," and it's gonna affirm that. Or you feel tired, it's going to affirm that. And at the same time, once that recognition takes place, that's when things can begin to shift, isn't it? It's like when you acknowledge how somebody feels, they then don't feel that necessarily anymore. You know, unless there's deeper and deeper layers. It's a bit like that.
If you don't know it's there, which most of us, I didn't know. If you don't know it's there, you can't look at it, and without actually looking at it and experiencing it, you can't let go. So all of that zero balancing helps you to become aware of what's there, look at it, but not in a deep kind of, you know, work hard at it to let it go and all that stuff. Lots of self-help stuff like that, but it's not. It's more, okay, you've seen it, look at it, and now you can let it go because you realize that it's not serving anymore. You can let it go, and it's safe to let go. And it just keeps happening, and it becomes easier. So yeah, something that was hidden gets brought to light through zero balancing, which then becomes, well, once you've seen it through, you become conscious that you can let go. If you're not conscious of it, you can't let it go, can you? So yeah, that's what's, for me, that's what happened with zero balancing. It brought to my consciousness things that were hidden, that were hurting me, that were stopping me from being happy, healthier, and I can let it go. Yeah.
Brilliant.
It is brilliant. It is brilliant. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
It's surreal because, you know, unless clients come back, I don't really ever get to have this conversation.
Okay.
And even when they come back, it's usually about the session that we're about to have rather than how it's impacted on somebody and how it's benefited them.
I think zero balancing has a lot of, it hits on many different levels, which I didn't expect. On the physical level, on the emotional, mental, and even to the one that surprised me was the spiritual level for me. Not everybody is into spirituality, but for me, it has been on all levels. It has on all the layers, the dimensions, whatever you want to call them. It has impacted each one of them as a whole, you know, and it's been, wow, that's amazing to me, really.
Yeah,
you know.
it can really transform your whole life.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like going to the doctor and saying, "Oh, I've got a sore knee," and they fix your sore knee.
That's it.
It's true to that phrase, isn't it, of like holistic medicine? Yes. It's true to that name.
That's how it feels to me, that it's been on all levels. It's worked on all the levels of my being, physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, all of it. And I think that's why it works so well. I think if you're aware of it, you see it. But for some people, it might not be important. You know, they might just, the most important would be their physical reason why they come first to you, and that's fine for them. But for me, it was just like a massive journey of, oh wow, all these layers are all interrelated, and zero balancing seems to just put a spotlight on it, that look, it's all related together, and you deal with one thing, impacts the whole of it, and it's great. Yeah.
So you said you came after lockdown. I think it was actually, no, I started again in early August.
I became ill in June, really badly ill, and I came to you in August. Then must have been.
Yeah, and all that in 3 months.
Yeah. And I was if you could call it depressed and in chronic pain, and as I said earlier, I'm powerless. And in 3 months, I couldn't even look after myself very well when I came to you. I couldn't look after my house anymore. I had very, very, I would say probably very dark thoughts. Yeah. And now I can look after myself. I can look after my house. My house looks lovely, actually, compared to what it was before. I'm contemplating going back to work, although I said I want to change work, but I thought I'm going to slowly. I used to paint. I got back into painting. I used to do crochet when I was younger. I've gone back to doing crochet. I go white swimming, you know, all these things that I would have never. It's giving me a new lease of life. It just gave me more, like, it was like I had stopped having any life force got cut off, and then suddenly it's coming back slowly. That's why I said to you last session, I feel like I'm plugged in, back into the flow of life, and I feel like I've got life energy back, and I'm doing more things, more creative things. I'm less anxious. I used to be so anxious. No panic attacks or anything like that. And that's what it's done to me in less than 3 months. Yeah.
Well, that's amazing to hear. It really is.
Yeah. Really, I mean, for me personally, it's massive changes. Massive. It was, I felt like I was in a hole when I came to see a hole I couldn't get out of, and that nobody could help me because they didn't see how bad they didn't understand how bad I felt. And although you just met me and you didn't really need to know how bad it was, But the work of zero balance seems to just unlock things, you know, unlock it. You don't need to understand everything. You just need to be willing to let it be done for you. That's how it felt to me. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Big thanks to Karima for sharing her experience with zero balancing. Now, please be aware that her experience won't necessarily be your experience. Nonetheless, hopefully it's piqued your interest and you'll be interested to learn a bit more, or maybe even give it a try. So if you're curious about this therapy and want to give it a go, then my sincere wish is that you can find a practitioner near you. Through these videos, my hope is to raise awareness of zero balancing as a healing tool through conversations with teachers, practitioners, and clients. As always, links for more information about zero balancing can be found in the description below. Now that's it for this time. Until next time, bye for now.